Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video I'll be showing you how to make this Taylor Swift crochet dress. I will put the details of the yarn into the description below. I'm going to use 5mm hook. To start, make a slip knot and chain 108 or multiple of 4 plus 6. 108 is equal to 28 inches long. So I will start with a purple color. So after your 108 chains, or depends how long you want to be, into the 7th chain from the hook, you're going to make 1 DC back bump. So this is our first row. After your 1 DC, you're going to make 2 DC, same chain. And next chain 1 and skip 3 chains and 3 DC into the 4th chain. And then you're gonna continue or repeat the pattern. Chain 1, skip 3 chains, and then 3 DC into the 4th chain. At the end of this row, you're gonna chain 1 and then 1 DC into the last chain. For row 2, chain 3 and turn. Make 2 DC into the space. And then chain 1 and 3 DC next space. And you're going to repeat chain 1 and 3 DC in each space. So we're here at the end of the row, chain 1 and make 2 DC into this last space. And then 1 DC into the 5th chain. And then next for the round 3, we're not gonna finish our double crochet. We're going to change color. So the next pattern color is brown. And then I'm going to tie a knot 2 times to secure. So the next pattern for the brown is cream and then brown, cream, brown. So I start with purple, 2 rows of purple, and then next is the brown. Row 3, chain 4, and then turn. And then you're going to make 3 DC next space. And then chain 1, 3 DC next space. And you're going to repeat this until the end of the row. So we're here at the end of the row, chain 1 and then 1 DC into the third chain, and then next we're going to change the color just like what we did. You're not going to finish your double crochet, you're going to change into cream yarn or cream color. So row 4, we're going to repeat row 2 just like this, the second purple row. So chain 3 and then turn, and then we're going to make 2 DC into this first space, same as row 2. So row 4 is same as row 2, and then if you're going to row 5, same as row 3, you're just going to repeat row 2 and row 3. So repeat row 2 and row 3 until you have 13 rows. I'll show you the color pattern and you can pause here the video. So at the end of the 4th row, the cream color, here I chain 1 first and then 2 DC into this last space, and then 1 DC into the third chain. Okay, and then next for 5th row, you're going to repeat the row 3. So chain 4 and then 3 DC into the next space, and then just go ahead and continue until you have 13 rows. So here the 13 rows I end to the purple color. So the next color is brown color. I'm going to change the color. So into the third chain, 1 DC. So row 14, the brown color, we're going to decrease. Okay, and then here the neck part of the dress. So into the 4th space, you're going to put stitch marker. So let's change first the color here. So chain 1 and then 1 DC into the third chain. So chain 3 and then turn. Okay guys, before we proceed to the next row, I weaving in first just like this. You can do the same if you want to weaving in like this before you proceed to the next row. I hide the tails like this, or you can hide your tails after your project done. It's all up to you. I just show you what I did to my ends. So after your chain 3, turn and then 2 DC into the first space. So this is row 14, the decrease row. So we're here into the neck part. After cluster, just make 1 DC into this 4th space. This is how we decrease. and then change the color. For row 15, another decrease. So we're going to decrease 2 times only. Row 14 and row 15. So to decrease, just chain 2. Instead of 3, we're going to chain 2 only. So 1, 2, and then turn. And we're going to make a cluster. So chain 2 and then turn. And then we're going to make a cluster into the next space here. So 3 DC into this space. So here's our second decrease. And then chain 1 and then 3 DC into the next space. This is how we decrease, just like this. And then the row 16 will be regular or normal row. So for row 16, brown color, chain 3 and turn, and then 2 DC into this first space. So at the end of row 16, chain 1 and then 1 DC and then chain color. So this is row 17, chain 3 and turn, and then make a 2 DC into this first space. So continue until you have row 30. So 16 to 30 is a normal row. So 14 and 15 row is the increased row. Then 16 to 30 is a normal row. So row 18, chain 3 and turn. And then you're going to make 2 DC in this space. 2 DC in this space, then chain 1, 3 DC, chain 1, 3 DC. So at the end of row 18, 3 DC in this space, then chain 1, and then 1 DC into this third chain. So row 14 and row 15, decrease row. Then from 16 up to 30 row is a normal row. So we're going to continue this, the orange color. And this orange color or glowing color is a row 30. Chain 3 and turn. So we're here at the end of row 30. So row 31 is the increase row. To increase, we're going to chain 4 and then turn, and into this very first space we're going to make 3 DC, and this is how we increase. So we have here into this chain 4 the space. So this is our space, then chain 1 and then 3 DC, next space. So go ahead, continue and finish your row 31. So after your 31 row, the third row of orange is the row 32. So here's the row 32, and we're going to increase. So to increase, after your cluster here, chain 1 and then we're going to make another cluster. So 2 DC here into this last space we created, and then 1 DC to complete the cluster into the third chain. So here's the third chain. We're going to make here 1 DC. And then to increase, chain 1 and then 1 DC into the same chain or into the third chain. So we created another space here. So that's how we increase. So for row 33, the next row, so we're going to count in this other side how many cluster, and we're going to each cluster equals to 4 chain. Make sure that we have equal cluster or equal number of clusters. So we have here 1, 2, 3 cluster. So it means 4, 8, 12. That's plus 4 chains. So we're going to make 16 chains. Because each cluster equal to 4 chains. We have 3 clusters, so 4, 8, 12 plus the 4 chains in the side. So after your 16 into the 5th, so after your 16 chains into the 5th chain, you're going to make 3 DC. So 3 DC into the 5th chain from the hook. And this is our first cluster here plus the space. Then chain 1, skip 3 chains, and then 3 DC into the 4th chain. So here's the second cluster. Next, chain 1 and then skip 3 chains, and into the 4th make 3 DC. So same as the other side, it has 3 clusters. And then next chain 1 and then 3DC into this space. Chain 1 and then 3DC here into this space where we created. And then go ahead, continue chain 1 and 3DC in each space. So as you can see, we have 3 clusters in each side. And this is our row 33. So after row 33, we're going to change color to purple color. So we're going to make a normal row for this row 34. So row 34, chain 1 and into this last space you're going to make 2 DC and then 1 DC into the third chain. And then row 35, chain 4 and turn. And then 3 DC into the next space. So you're gonna repeat row 34 and row 35 until you have row 45. So each shoulder has 13 rows. So continue here until you have 13 rows for the shoulder part. This is my last row, row 45. So my last row is the purple color. I start with a purple, 2 rows of purple, then brown and cream, orange and purple, and the decrease 2 times, and then straighten here, and then increase 2 rows. 13 rows for the shoulder, and into the other shoulder also 13 rows. We're going to make a back panel same as the front panel. Start with the purple color. Only the difference for the back panel is the neck part. So here's my leftover yarn. So my orange running out, I'm going to start a new orange. So I still can use the leftover for my back panel. So for the back panel, we're going to adjust. Instead of 4 space, I'm going to decrease into the second space here, and then straight, and then increase 2 times, and then I'll show you how I decrease. So no chain, just double crochet in here into the second space, and then change the yarn color into cream color, just like what we did into front panel. Chain 2 and then jump into this next space, and then next is the regular or normal rows, and then increase 2 times. So we're here into the increase part, same as what we did into the front panel. So after your 2 DC into the space, and then 1 DC into this third chain, and then next increase chain 1, and then 1 DC into the same chain. So we have here 1 cluster plus the 4 chains, so we're going to chain 8 only. So after your chain 8 into the 5th, 1 DC, and then 2 DC, same chain, and then chain 1, and make 3 DC into this space. And then chain 1 and continue the cluster in each space. So after we finish our 2 panels, we're going to attach both shoulders. So there's the 2 rows of purple, and then in here, and the last row of purples, the same as the back panel. So from this, I already put the stitch marker into the 3rd chain here, so it will be straight like this. And in this side, you're going to put in stitch marker here into the 3rd chain, so it will be straight. And in here, from here, 3rd chain, and then from this 3rd chain 2, so ready to attach together. We're going to crochet with enough length of the yarn. We're going to use our darning needle. So I already done this shoulder. I'm going to show you how I attach. So we're going to remove this stitch marker here into the 3rd chain, we're going to insert our darning needle here. So after we attach the shoulder, we're going to move on to the armhole into the 7th space. I'm going to put stitch marker here. It depends the size of your arm. You can adjust. For the sleeve, I made chain 80 plus 6, 26 rows in total. So I divided like this. So 13 here rows. And then here's my stitch marker. So the 13 rows from the top of the shoulder is a little bit wider, so I move here into the next cluster after my 7th space. So I attach here the stitch marker into the next cluster. So from this shoulder, 7th space, after the 7th space, the next cluster, I put stitch marker, move here, and then I insert my darning needle here into the next cluster after the 7th space, and then I attach or crochet here. So the half of the sleeve is 13 rows, and in the other half is 13 rows. So go ahead and attach your sleeve here. Next, we're going to attach the side of the sleeve. So here's the wrong side or the inside part. It is not even. The sides. So what we're gonna do is we're going to attach here and in here into the side of the dress. We're gonna continue from the sleeve up to the side of the dress. So make sure we have enough length of the yarn. So I have here 3 times length of the sleeve. We're going to use the darning needle to attach the side of the sleeve and the side of the dress. So we're going to start here. So the 3 chain space we're going to attach into the cluster. Just like this. And then into the bottom of the cluster, we're going to attach into the chain 1 space. Just like this, because the sides of the sleeve is not even. So don't confuse for attaching the side of the sleeve. And then we're going to attach here in the corner later. So on this side is easy because it is even. Same. So just like what I did in here. The 3 chain space here, we're going to attach into the chain DC or the cluster here. And the bottom of the cluster into the chain 1 space here. So go ahead, crochet this side. So for the edge of the sleeve, we're going to put 2 single crochet in each row. So make a slip knot. Then we're going to start the first single crochet here. So this is our first single crochet into the same row. So you're going to work on into the outside part of the sleeve. So after your first single crochet, here's the second single crochet, and into the next row 2 single crochet. So continue making 2 single crochet in each row. So this is the last row, 2 single crochet. And then you're going to slip stitch here into our first single crochet that we made. And then chain 1 and cut your yarn. And go ahead, hide your tails here into the inside part of the sleeve. So you're gonna do the same here into the edge of the dress, 2 single crochet in each row. And for the neck part, so you're going to make a 3 single here, 3 single crochet here, then 2 single crochet in here, and then next 2 single crochet in each, 2 single crochet here, then 1 single here, and then 3 single crochet in each cluster. After you slip stitch into the first single crochet that we made, you're going to chain 1 and single crochet into the same stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each stitch. And then slip stitch into the first single crochet, and then chain 1 and cut your yarn. And then hide the tail, and we're done. If you like this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Bye. God bless you all.